Since Android is a much more mature operating system and is much more open compared to other ones like iOS, there's a lot of range for customizability. And one of the core aspects of it is actually something called Android launchers, whereby you can kind of change the entire feel of your system, everything ranging from the app screen to the app dock and just pretty much anything that you can think about. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 of my personal favorite Android launchers. So without further ado, let's check them out. Alright, so now that we're on the phone, we can go ahead and look through our launchers. So if you guys can see, there are 3 launchers. So let's get started with the first one. So the first one I'm going to start off with is the Nova launcher. And this is the one that probably is the most popular Android launcher by far. I think it has 50 million plus downloads on the Play Store, so that's very significant. And there's a good reason why. It's just been so good for so long, especially. And that's perhaps one of the reasons why. And the other reason why is it's because it's very customizable. Just gonna hold down, and as you guys can see, this kind of menu pops up. So from here, I can just go ahead and click on settings. And from there, we can just basically go through all of these different settings within the Nova launcher. And in addition, there's also a premium version of the launcher, which I believe is around $5. I think it's called like Nova Launcher Prime. And yeah, that's also very popular, but personally, this is not my favorite launcher out of the bunch, just because it is, I think personally, a little generic, and the design seems a little kind of not outdated per se, but it's not very in line with the very latest versions of Android. And for me particularly, since I do have a pretty stock version of Android, as you guys can see, just this is my normal launcher, not like this is not even like an external launcher installed. Like, it just is very clean, so I just personally just like staying with this. However, the second option that I do have is a Microsoft launcher. This is probably the one that has gained a lot of popularity actually fairly recently, in the last 2 years or so. And there's good reason for it. In fact, this is probably the one that I have used the most, just because I do use some of the other Microsoft apps, and this just helps me sync with that. So if you see, if I go to the left, this actually has a feed. So this is probably one of the biggest sort of advantages of this is if you use Microsoft services, it has a variety of things, like it syncs with your Outlook calendar, it has your to-do lists, right? If I go down, like it has my to-do list, my notes, and my OneNote, and just has pretty much everything that I kind of need. It also has like a news feed, etc. Right? So I just think if you do use Microsoft apps or services quite often, I think this is by far the best choice. And the launcher itself, I would say, is also very customizable, and there's some like very fundamental things that you can change about it, right? It's just really different compared to all of the other ones because it is by Microsoft, and you can actually change a bunch of things, like if there is an app drawer, how should the app drawer open, various gestures and things like that, which are also found in some other launchers. So the last one I want to show to you guys is probably the most simple one, and that's probably the reason why I also personally really liked it, especially when I wanted a simple feeling, and that is the Lawnchair launcher. So if you guys see, I've opened it up and it does not feel very different from the old, like the stock launcher that I have. And the reason being, this is one that is supposed to mimic the Pixel line of phones, right? So my phone is very similar to stock Android, and it already feels kind of like a Pixel phone. So there isn't much of a difference, but if you're using something like a Samsung phone, it's gonna be quite different. Like the change between your native launcher and this new launcher is gonna be so different. And I think this is like so clean in terms of sort of how it operates, just very stock Android feeling, sort of, there's nothing extra about it. It's just the bare minimum and just very clean. And also I've noticed that this probably gives me the smallest performance hit. So the Microsoft launcher actually does have a bit of a performance dip. So, when I'm using my stock launcher and when I'm comparing to the Microsoft launcher is a little slower, and same with the Nova launcher. However, this one feels just as smooth and fast, and that's probably because it just, there's very little that it really adds, but the things that it does bring are just really nice touches. So with that being said, that has been it for this video, guys. If you guys liked it, feel free to give it a thumbs up. And if you guys want to enjoy more content like this, feel free to subscribe. But with that being said, peace.